Good morning, you guys. Everybody. So I wanted to do a story time and see what you guys think about um, tarot cards. Because in my experience with tarot, I don't even know how, whatever you call them, tarot cards. In my experience, I messed with them back in 2004, and it was me and my sister-in-law, and she wanted to, she didn't believe in anything like tarot cards or anything like that, so she thought, let's try it and see what happens, because I don't think nothing will happen. So we actually messed with tarot cards, and we messed with a ouija board. She bought a ouija board, and like, to me, being, like, in our way, like in native way, we don't really mess with that because, it's kind of like messing with the devil and messing with not really literally the devil, but messing with spirits in general, and lost spirits at that. So I mean, I explained that to her, how and like what could happen if we don't if we mess with it, what could happen, and what kind of spirits can come out of it, you know what I mean? Like, we could open a door that we won't be able to close, and there'd be bad spirits stuck around us. And so what we did was, we did mess with tarot cards, and we did ask questions. And the tarot cards, if you ever go and buy one, they're in like Barnes and Noble is where we got ours. And then they're also like in bookstores, and there's actually some stores that have like in Lawrence, Kansas, there's a store. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like witch. It has witch in it though. And they have tarot cards, and they have oils, and they have rocks, and they have all of these different plants, including sage. How I found out about that store is I went there for sage. But my point is, you can get these tarot cards anywhere. You know what I mean? Except like Walmart or somewhere like that. But they are in bookstores and what is that? Novelty stores. So, well, what we did was, she wanted to know who the spirit was. So we put the cards out, and we just did the basic. There's all different kinds of readings. There's like 3-card reading, 4-card reading, 9, 12, 16. It could really go deeper and deeper. Like, if you want to know your future within 10 years or something, like, the more you want to know, the more cards that you have. So we just did the 3-card, which is past, present, and future, to see if this see if it was, like if it pertained to us. So I did it on her, and it did, because she was still in high school then, and it did talk about her being in school and present. She's currently in school. She was a senior in high school. And then in the future, it said, what did it say about her traveling? And at the time, it was hard to believe, because she had lived in California her whole life, and she's never left. So she was kind of shocked on how it said that she was going to be traveling. So anyways, we did that, and then I was like, so there you go. Let's just leave it alone now. Now you know, like, the real. And she was like, okay, well, let's do the Ouija board. Now, the Ouija board, to me, I've never messed with it, but I've heard stories about it from my friends and from my cousins on how they messed with it and what happened. So I wasn't like hyped to do it, I guess. Like, I already knew something bad was gonna happen. And I told her, I said, well, we're gonna have to, you guys can't be scared. And mind you, her and her brother, they never seen a ghost. They never experienced any type of ghost. And this is why they were so, like, anxious to mess with this Ouija board, because they wanted to see what could happen. So we all put our hands on it, and you basically, like, not really touch. I don't know if you guys ever tried a Ouija board, but you don't really touch it. You just kind of like put your fingertips right above it and then ask the questions. So we asked the questions, and the first question that we asked was, is there a spirit here with us today? And that little eye, it felt like gravity, you know what I mean? Like, like whenever you have a magnet, and then like the magnets, like they just like connect, you know what I mean? Like they just like, you can feel the energy. Anyways, that's what a Ouija board felt like. The eye, whenever you put your fingers above it, and it feels like it's like your fingers are like magnets on it, and it's trying to like pull you to touch it, but you're not really touching it, but it's pulling your fingers to touch it. And that's what it felt like. And then it went to, we asked if there's a spirit here, and it took all of our hands to yes on the eye. And as soon as it did that, I almost burped. As soon as it did that, my sister-in-law, her and her brother, like, looked at me, because they thought that I did that. They thought I moved it. And I was like, no, I didn't move it. That's what happened. So I said, watch, I'm not even going to be on it. And it was just them two. And then she said, what is your name? To the spirit. And then it started moving to the letters. And as it was starting to move to the letters, her and her brother had let go of it, and they got scared. And then her brother picked it up and he threw it across the room. And I was like, they got scared, like to their core. They were scared because they seen how real this board is. And I said, so what do you guys want to do? I said, let's burn it, because like, to me, that's the only thing, that we can do to like really get rid of it, is like, let's just burn it. So then she was like, no, I'm gonna go throw it away. So she picked it up, picked the eye up, And she went downstairs and she went threw it in the garbage can. So then we thought, okay, good. And then they have like, you know how like us natives, like we burn sage and like sweetgrass and prayer and everything. Well, like in the Laos way, some of them burn these sticks. They're like incense, I think, but they're like sticks for to help their family members that have passed on. Whenever they burn their stick, it's to help their family members recognize and remember where their home is to come back home. And so then that's what she was doing. She was burning that, and she was scared. And I just told her that let's never mess with that again, because obviously you and your brother are scared now, and you guys know that this is real. And she agreed. She don't want to mess with her no more. So then it was probably like, I would say a few hours went by. Now we lived on a second floor, and we had neighbors that lived below us. The neighbors that lived below us was a Cambodian family, and they had, I would say they had about 4 kids, all under the age of 10. Then one of these kids went into our garbage can and got the Ouija board out and started messing with it in the backyard. And we didn't know anything about it. We were just sitting there watching movies, and it was dark already by then. It was nighttime. And I didn't want to tell my ex-husband that we were messing with that Ouija board, because like he would flip, because he knows those that stuff is dangerous to mess with, because you're messing with like the other side. So then I didn't tell him, but then his sister told him, told her mom, then his mom told her, and we were just sitting there, and he was like, why are you guys messing with that and everything? And I was like, they just wanted to try it, but we threw it away. It's not in the house. We threw that away. We threw the cards away. And we heard 2 big, like, banging sounds, like something just fell, hit real hard downstairs. And the lady down there, she speaks Laos, and she started screaming, what did you guys do? You guys brought something in here. I just seen him. He's standing right there in the kitchen. I can't believe you guys. What did you do? Who brought him here? And she was talking about a ghost. She seen a ghost standing in the kitchen. And then my sister-in-law, she started telling me, oh, she just seen a ghost in her kitchen, and he knocked something down. And then the kids started crying because they got scared, and we could hear them. You know what I mean? Whenever you're like living close like that in an apartment, you hear everything. Well, we went outside on the front porch, and then you could hear them arguing, like, who brought this? Where'd you guys get this? Who brought the Ouija board in here? Now there's somebody here. There's a man in the kitchen now. Who brought this here? And they were getting mad at each other. The sisters were. And then the little kid said he found it in a garbage can. And then my sister-in-law was like, oh, like we all just kind of like looked at each other, like they took the Ouija board out of our garbage can and they started messing with it. And they literally brought somebody there, like literally brought a spirit there to where the grandma seen him. And the grandma was pissed off, and she literally went outside and they burned that Ouija board. Mind you, You wouldn't think that a Ouija board from Walmart can do this, but it did. And it was so unreal, and I was just like, it is from Walmart, you know what I mean? But it literally did bring something or awake something, and they were really mad. The grandma was really mad downstairs, but she didn't know that the kids got it out of our garbage can and we threw it away. And so yeah, that was insane. That was my experience with the Ouija board and with tarot cards. And one time I did do a palm reading at a flea market. The lady like grabbed me out of the crowd and was like, come here, come sit down. And I was like, no. You know what I mean? I'm okay. Like, I don't want to try it. No, thank you. And she's like, come on, this will be free. It's free. First time free. And then I was like, okay. So then I let her read my palm. And she basically just like said, and I was married at the time, and then she said that I wasn't going to be married, that I was going to be moving, and I like to move a lot, and I like to travel a lot. That's what's in my future. I always have a suitcase and ready to go. And at the time, I'm like, yeah, right. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, because like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm married. I'm staying here in California. And whenever it did happen, I always remember what the lady said about all of that. Whenever I did get a divorce, and I did move after that. After I got a divorce, I like continuously moved from California to South Dakota to Minnesota to not North Dakota, to Kansas, Oklahoma. Like within the Midwest, I just constantly been moving. And I was like, wow, like that lady really did, tell me the truth. And I didn't want to believe it, of course. And some of this stuff, like, what brought it up to me was I was watching videos on YouTube, and then I seen a commercial about psychics. And then I thought, all of my experiences with psychics and tarot cards and the Ouija board and the stuff that I heard about, the stories that I heard about Ouija board. And one of the stories that really stuck with me was my friend told me that her and her sister were messing with it. Literally, they went to a graveyard and they messed with it there. Then after that, she said that her sister was always like acting strange and like waking up in the middle of the night and like just sitting there. I should just be standing somewhere just like staring straight ahead. And she attacked her sisters a couple of times, just out of nowhere, just like attacked her, like jumped on her and started scratching her face up. And they took her to the church and told the church what happened. Told the church that their sister was messing with the Ouija board, and they threw the Ouija board away because they were scared. Like after she started being real crazy, they threw the Ouija board away. But her sister went and made one out of paper. She drew everything, and she went into, like, they had a shed behind their house, and she went to the shed, and she was always messing with it in the shed. And then they caught her messing with it. So then they went and they ripped up her piece of paper, and she just made another one. And she kept doing that. And then they were telling the church, and they were in their teens, like 13, 14, 15. And they were telling their mom, telling the church, like, can you help our sister? Like, she won't stop messing with us. And every time she messes with us, she gets mean, and she attacks them, and she attacks the mom and the dad. So eventually, throughout the years, her going to church and everything, she didn't attack her sisters no more. She didn't mess with the Ouija board no more. But for, she said, about a year and a half, that was going on. And I thought, that's a really long time for somebody to be obsessed with that. And even to the point of having it memorized and just knowing everything about it and drawing it out and making her own. You know what I mean? Like, that was insane to hear that story. And I was like, I would never. And like, even to this day, I tell my girls, like, don't ever mess with tarot cards or Ouija boards or psychics or palm reading. Like, all of that stuff is a whole different I don't know, like a dimension, you know what I mean? Like, not a good one. And people want to think it's fun and, you know, it's okay, and it's just telling me I want to know my future and all this and that, but literally it's not. It's something bad. I believe it's something bad. And even if what they tell you is gonna happen really happens, that's still, that's still bad, because how would they know that if they weren't there to, if they're not, bad people? Because I don't know, I just feel like it's bad spirits, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't ever mess with that stuff. But you guys should let me know if you ever experienced anything with that. Let me know in the comments, or I'll leave my email on here too, so you guys could email me on there if you don't want to comment. But yeah, just let me know, because this just my experiences with all of that stuff. And yeah, I make this video real short, and I talk to you guys later. Sorry if my coat is all dirty, my sweater has lint, but I'm in my work clothes, so I don't need to be clean, you know what I mean? I'm out here cleaning, so. Dogsha.